Today's grammar point is covering the tag GW, how does what, to what degree, 副词程度. So this grammar tag is still focusing on adverbs like we did before, which again we like to express as how does what, because an adverb really is just expressing that there's an action and how was that action done, or how did it, is it, is there a degree to which the action was done? Is there a tone of voice to it? Is there a denial? And so this one is about to what degree an action has happened. And so, I could just say that my mouth is dry, or I could say my mouth is very dry, or I could say my mouth is extremely dry, which is the first sentence here. And what we want to understand is how can you express these different levels of degree using adverbs in Mandarin. So we're going to go through some sentences and show you some different ways of going about it. And let's take a look at the first sentence, which is actually a sentence that doesn't provide much degree at all. Or you could say it's a neutral degree, which is, the sentence is 我的口很干. And this just means my mouth is dry, which if you've seen our pronunciation mastery course, you'll be aware that when you have a noun connecting to an adjective and you don't need to add any particular extra emphasis to express degree, you use 很 simply to connect them. So it just means is. A lot of people translate 很 as meaning very, and there is one context where it means very, but the neutral way of expressing that a noun is an adjective, so like I am happy, 我很开心, that is the conjunction that you're going to use there is 很. So really in this situation, 很 isn't really an adverb, it's more of a conjunction, but we want to have that as your basis because that's how you express something that without sort of giving it any special degree. Now, if I were to say the sentence 我爱你, 我爱你, which just means I love you, if I were to add 很 here and say 我很爱你, that means I really love you. And so you're increasing the degree at that point. And the difference here is that 爱 or 喜欢 or 讨厌 or 恨, these are psychological verbs. These are verbs that are they're just inside your emotional apparatus. So when you're talking about feelings and how you sort of verb the feeling, how you act the feeling out, like it's like if I love someone, it's an action to some degree, but it's sort of just existing in my psychology, then you can use 很 to increase the degree. So it's the difference between I love you and I really love you. But when you're just talking about a noun connecting to an adjective, like 我的口很干, then that is translated simply as is. So all the sentences from now on, we're going to have something that does either increase or decrease the degree of the verb. And the most common one that you'll probably see is 非常. So the next sentence is 这桌菜非常香. So 非常literally means non-ordinary. 非 is what you say to indicate non hyphen. So it's sort of like a prefix that means non whatever comes after it. And then 常 means ordinary or regular. So non-ordinary, that's another way of saying very. So anything that's very something is, by very definition, by the fact that you're saying the word very, is not ordinary. So that's kind of an interesting thing how Chinese can take such a simple word like very that we don't really think too much about in English and express it more clearly with its two characters. So 这桌菜非常香 means the table of food smells really great. And now if I were to just say 这桌菜很香, it would just be the table of food smells great. Not smells really great, just smells great. So by putting in the 非常, we're indicating that it's not just your average great smell, it's a really great smell. And so it's a step above 很. Now let's look at another one here. This is a quite useful one. And the character 还 is one that has a few different meanings, and this is one where it kind of expresses a degree. So here's the sentence. 这个医院看起来还干净. So 还干净. This means quite clean. This hospital, it's quite clean. It's passably clean. It's less intense than 非常. So when you see this, like a lot of times people will say 还不错,还不错. And that means like, yeah, all right, not bad. It's passably okay, right? And so it's in between 很 and 非常. So 非常is like I'm expressing, yeah, this is really good. But 还 is kind of, it's more of a, yeah, quite good. You can imagine somebody's walking into the hospital and they're going, okay, this is all right. It's fine. You know, they're not walking in aghast at how amazingly clean it is, but it's passably clean, so 还干净. And so that's kind of a mid-range level. Now let's look at another one. This one is not too much different from 非常. So if we look at the sentence, 他们真坏. This just means they're truly awful. And 真 is just another word you can choose to indicate some level of degree. So 真 means true or truly. And so in this case, it's just another way of expressing a similar idea. If you said 他们非常坏, it's pretty much the same. Like perhaps 真 is slightly higher than 非常, but it's really, you know, just as in English, there's lots of different ways to express the same idea, so is there in Chinese. So when it comes to 真 and 非常, they're virtually the same. Now next we have this sentence, 她今天看起来太漂亮了. And so this sentence uses 太, which means to, T-O-O. And so, like many things in, language, you'll sometimes mean it literally, and you'll sometimes mean it metaphorically or hyperbolically. So, in this sentence, I doubt that the speaker thinks that this woman is literally too beautiful. I mean, it's possible, I suppose, maybe if she was particularly resentful. She's too beautiful today. But for the most, it almost definitely is she's saying she's extraordinarily beautiful. She's so beautiful that she's too beautiful, but it's a hyperbolic statement, you know what I'm saying? So the sentence is meant to maybe even take it a step further than 非常 by saying she's too beautiful today. Now, to note about 太 is that 太, when it's the object of the sentence, when it's the predicate of the sentence, the does what, it's kind of always paired with 了. So it's 太, adjective like 漂亮 or 美 or some, or 好. 太好了 is just a way of saying fantastic. It's too good, right? And so 太漂亮了 is 太 plus adjective plus 了. And if you want to negate something, if you want to say 不太漂亮, you will not use 了. So if you want to say 不太, not very, that's a way of lowering the degree in some way. So 太漂亮了 is raising the degree. It's like she's so beautiful. And then 不太漂亮 is more of a tactful way of saying she's not that beautiful, right? But if you're going to say 不太, then you don't use 了. It's only in the positive that you use 了. So that's a quite extreme one. How about the most extreme? If you're going to raise the degree to the highest level possible, you're going to want to use the character 最, which means most. So you can't go any higher than 最. So here's a sentence. 我的妈妈是最美的. So my mom is the most beautiful. So it's not possible to be more beautiful than your mom. This might be what like a 4-year-old would say. I think we all think our mothers are the most beautiful in the world when we're really young. So 最 it's the top shelf of adverbs. It's the highest you can go. So if we look at some other adjectives and see how 最 changes them, you have 高, which means high. 最高 means the highest. So Mount Everest is the 最高的 mountain, right? And so 好, that means good. 最好 is best, the best. 美, beautiful. 最美, most beautiful. So you get the idea. If you use 最 before the adjective, you can always increase the degree to the highest that it will go. But so far we've talked about raising the degree. What if we want to lower the degree? So if the initial sentence was 我的口很干, which just means my mouth is dry. So what if we want to say it's a little dry? It's not just dry. I want to express that it's lower in degree. Well, there you want to use 有点 or 有点儿. For this one, both North and South tend to say 有点儿, but a lot of people will also say 有点. But regardless, here's a sentence. 我白天肚子有点疼. So it's saying, during the day, my stomach was hurting a bit, a little bit. And so it's not saying, if you just said, 我白天肚子疼, that would mean it was quite, it was painful. It was not a little painful, it was painful, right? And so by adding 有点, you kind of add a little tact to it, add a little bit of just expressing, okay, it's just a skosh, just a little bit, but there's a difference of degree there that the adverb once again shows. And the way you can understand this 有点 is that 有点 is really 有一点, 有一点. They just omit the e because 点's a measure word, meaning a dot or a spot or a bit, right? So 有 has 一点, has one bit. So it's a little way of saying, it's just another way of saying like that's a little bit of whatever comes after it. And so when you think of it like that, you recognize, okay, of course this means a bit because it's translates directly, has one bit. And they just omit the e because you can do that with any measure word. If it's e and not like 5 or 10, if it's just 1, you can omit the 1 and you know that that's the missing number. So 有点, 有点, or 有点儿. And then the final sentence we'll talk about today is one that is, it's actually a great little grammatical structure in Chinese, and it's a way of saying, it's a way of lowering the degree to the lowest you can go. So 最 was to raise it to the highest degree. This one's going to be to lower it to the lowest degree. And it means like not even a little bit. So here's the sentence. 你一点也不关心我. So this is a great structure. 一点也不. And you can also have 一点都不. 也 or 都 are both okay. But this isn't the exact way we would express it in English. We would say, you don't care about me in the slightest. We'd say in the slightest or not even a little bit, right? But the way it's actually structured in Chinese is you one bit also don't, and then insert whatever you think that is. So in this case, it's 关心 or care about. So you one bit also don't care about me. So it's like really emphasizing that there's no degree at all to which you care about or whatever other action or adjective you want to put in there. And so it's quite harsh, I find. It's like if I had one bit, you'd also not get it. And so you can also use do, which means all. So you one bit all don't care about me. So either one is okay, they're interchangeable, but bear that in mind that these different levels can be established by changing the adverb. So you can go from everywhere, from not at all to the most, and a bunch in between. And this is by no means an exhaustive list of all the different adverbs of degree that there are. However, this should give you a good sense of how to recognize when the purpose of an adverb is to change the degree to which the action or the adjective is understood. So that is the grammar point GW, how does what, to what degree, 副词程度. So if you want to go into your Anki browser sidebar, find that tag, you can see all sentences that have this tag, and that'll give you even deeper an understanding of how this works. As always with grammar, just recognize this point so that you can notice it as you continue to input and keep it up as you move forward.